This is number 16 from chapter 15. The sample represented here are individuals who experienced some alcohol-related problems and whether they had permissive parents. So if they had permissive parents and they were allowed to drink on certain occasions before they were underage in a supervised way, or they were not allowed to drink under any circumstance. So we were asked to perform a chi-square. So we're gonna use our formula, typical formula that we use. We're asked to perform an alpha significance test of 5%. So the degrees of freedom is row -1, column -1. So we have a 2 by 2 matrix here. So we have a degrees of freedom of 1. And our critical value, chi-square critical, will be 0.5 level, degrees of freedom 1, 3.84. We're also asked to perform Cramer's V. So that's a formula there. Once we get our chi-square result, we set that over n, multiply that by degrees of freedom asterisk, which was the smaller of r -1 or c -1, but we're just looking at a 1. It's going to be the same thing, right? Over the sample size. So let's just start working out our problem. The first thing we want to do is figure out what our expected frequencies are for each box. So we need to figure out the f expected. So let's do it. Let's do it right here. So we have 200, we have 80, 120, 160, 40. So remember that our formula for calculating the value in each cell is the column total times the row total over n. So I pre-calculated these already. 80 times 160 over 200, that's 64. 80 times 40 over 200, that's 16. 160 times 120 over 200, 96. And 40 times 120 over 200 is 24. So once we have these values, we can start plugging them into our main formula. We're taking the difference between the observed frequency and the expected frequency, squaring that and setting it over the expected frequency, then summing up all those values. So we'll just do it down here, right below. And so we have 71 minus 64 squared over 64. Go in here. Let's see, squared plus 9 minus 16 squared over 16 plus 89 minus 96 minus 96 squared over 96 plus 31 minus 24 squared over 24. So that's those are the terms you got to figure out. So this term calculates, and I rounded to 2 decimal places, 0.77 plus The second term rounds out to 3.06. The third term, 0.51. And the last term is 2.04. Okay, so once we sum those, we get our final chi-square value, which is 6.38. So we're also asked to find Cramer's V. So V is the square root of 6.38 over n times 1. So that ends up being 0.18.